Oh, oui, oui, je m'appelle David Scandura.
Je suis Justus Burkett.
And today we're here to find out if Jean de Florette is the greatest movie ever made.
Oh, oui, oui.
Oh, oui.
Je suis bossu! Vous ne le savez pas? Vous croyez que c'est facile?
Welcome to the greatest movie ever made, the show where we watch a movie and tell you if it's the greatest movie ever made.
The French.
A movie that is so entertaining or compelling that while you're watching it, it's the only thing that matters in Le Monde.
In Provence.
The French.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that this episode. It's sort of inevitable. It's our first French film, as far as I don't think we've done another French film.
I don't think so.
We haven't done that many foreign films.
We've been quite open about our distaste for the country of France and its people.
Yes, that's right.
However,
both of us ancestrally, I feel like, going back generations, our ancestors have had rivalries with the French people, so I feel like it's baked into our DNA to some extent.
It's less of a dislike and more like a centuries-old blood feud.
Right, yeah. Right.
But I will say, I do find myself enjoying French cinema that I've seen.
Yes. As much as I mock the ridiculous French language and their quote-unquote culture, there are definitely French things I enjoy. I enjoy the French cinema that I have seen. French food is very good. Those motherfuckers know how to make some wine.
I mean, I like bread and cheese, but otherwise...
all of this is in good fun. No joke is without a grain of truth, right? But all of it is in good fun. I have been to France. It is a lovely country full of extremely rude people.
Have you checked our listenership? Do we have any French listeners?
If we did, I doubt we will by the end of this episode. Yeah, I think that 1% of our listens have 0.5% of our listens have come from France.
Opening our episode on one of the most culturally significant French films by just throwing up a big middle finger to that entire country.
Right, basically the film that ushered in the whole idea of a French blockbuster film as opposed to just an art film, right? Because this was enormously financially successful. Really put them kind of on the world stage as far as cinema was concerned, instead of just sort of the niche fascination of film nerds.
The French New Wave,
right, yeah,
stuff like that,
but this movie made French cinema accessible to a lot of people for the very first time, and we're just here to shit on the country. Which, to be fair, I feel like this movie does a pretty good job of showing the two sides of the romantic ideal of France from a French filmmaker's perspective. It seems like in some ways this movie is a little bit of a critique of the idealism and the kind of optimism and joie de vivre that is sort of one of the cornerstones of French culture. One of the things that I like to mock a lot about the French is that they're who cares about going to a job for 8 hours a day? Isn't it more romantic to smoke cigarette and drink wine and sit in cafe on the corner and debate philosophy? And it's yeah, but you gotta pay the fucking bills. Which is a thing Jean de Florette has to learn through enormous tragedy in this movie, is that it's an idealistic life in the pastoral French countryside is back-breaking work that will kill you, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm David Scandura, joined as always by my co-host Justus Burkett. I don't know that we did that.
I don't think we did, but we have now.
Before we continue with the episode and March sadness, how are you doing, Justus?
I'm doing okay. I had one of the weirdest weeks of my life, just because this was a week that felt like 3 weeks. It is crazy that it has only been 7 days since the last time we recorded an episode, because I feel like a totally different person. Because I had a lighting design gig, theatrical lighting design, that I had to go down to Phoenix for 3 days for. And I'm not going to get into the particulars because I don't want to do inside industry gossip on my movie podcast. But suffice to say, weird 3 days of rehearsal. I'll tell you more about it off mic.
Good weird or bad weird?
Both.
Okay.
Both. One of those days of rehearsal was maybe the worst rehearsal I have ever been at in my entire life. And then,
like, for you specifically?
For everyone.
For everyone.
For everyone who was at the rehearsal.
Overall, rehearsal was just a bad time.
Yes.
Okay.
It was 4 hours of a hell nightmare that no one could escape from. It was one of the absolute worst times I have ever had in my chosen industry. And then the 2 days that bookended it were like kind of okay. And it was a weird experience. So like I'm coming off of that. Overall, the show's open now. I'm pretty happy with how it ended up. It seems like other people who are involved are happy with it. But yeah, just weird week, cuz like just real peaks and valleys. And like I feel like I learned a lot about myself through this experience of like going through that hell day with a bunch of other artists and coming out on the other side being like, "Hey, we did it," you know?
Well, then you had to come back and immediately go back to your regular work.
That's right. And I just feel like I have been grinding. I don't think that there has been a day that I have done zero work for now about like 15 days straight.
That's a big change for you.
Yeah. Fuck you. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Your work is running a theater.
My job's weird.
And selling beer to college kids.
I don't sell beer to the college kids. The shows that the college kids go to, we usually don't sell booze at.
Oh, okay.
We sell booze to old people.
Yes.
I sell Pepsi to college kids.
You sell booze to the white people who come to see the theater.
The Shakespeare. Yep. They pay more for booze anyway. The college kids a lot of the time will like try and bring in their own instead of buying it. But it's fine because I don't sell it to them because we don't have a blanket liquor license. We only have them for special events.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so my week's been pretty good overall, but it has consisted of just drastic swings, and it feels like, it's been very long. And I don't think I have any media to recommend this week. That was a weird way to say that word. David, how are you?
I'm good. I had a good week. Tired from work. But I also had a couple of days off in there. It's weird going back to a schedule that's not consistent.
Yeah.
Especially because like I'm not getting a consistent 40 hours. Like I've been under 40 hours for most weeks.
Yeah.
But I am tired. I'm still because I'm actually working now, like you are.
Right. Yeah,
apparently.
right. This is also new for you.
Yeah. But I'm also like. I'm not doing Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, so I'm trying to like figure out how to fit in my actual life around the rest of that.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to do adult things, adulting, as us millennials would say.
Yes.
If we were cringe, but thankfully, you and I are not cringe.
Nobody has ever been cringe in the history of this podcast.
We've never done anything cringe in our entire lives. Neither of us have ever
done anything embarrassing or out of touch.
So I'm trying to figure some shit out with health insurance and getting some shit cleaned up for my last job because they were stealing from us.
Yes, you were being exploited illegally by your shitheel employer.
I don't know how many local listeners we have, but like
a handful.
I won't necessarily say the company's name, but it's a health care organization that has been in the news and is currently undergoing a lawsuit for stealing our health insurance from us to pay other costs that they were suffering while going through bankruptcy.
Yeah. Real bad shit.
So like it should be really easy to narrow that down.
Yeah. And
so like
just one of those stories where you're like, yeah, man, Luigi Mangione was really on.
Yeah,
something.
like Maybe someone should have thrown a Molotov cocktail through the window.
Parody satire.
Satire. Yeah. So like, I had to file to get my money.
Yeah.
For my health insurance that they didn't pay.
Yeah.
And some other expenses at my doctor that are like not so fun that I have to figure out. And I'm also like, if my dad tells me to call someone, I will send an email.
Yeah.
And I will just send the email and assume that it's okay.
Yeah.
When I really should just call them.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to unlearn that, but I haven't done that yet. I've just sent the emails.
I'm really bad about that too.
It's also the weekend, so like,
yeah.
I always use that as an excuse.
Right. Didn't want to bother him over the weekend. And it's like, yeah, you also didn't want to place that call. you didn't want to call somebody.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Yep. Same deal over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have much to recommend. I watched Irreversible last night.
Oh, yikes. Wow, you're really leaning into March sadness.
I was like, I checked out a bunch of movies from the library, and part of the reason I checked out Irreversible was like, holy shit, the Flagstaff Public Library has Irreversible.
Do they know what this movie is? Or did they just shelve it ignorant of its content?
So I threw it on last night, just fucking
You threw
casually.
on Irreversible.
I had chicken tenders and potato wedges.
Yikes.
And just had myself a cheery little watch of
Yeah.
Irreversible.
Yeah.
Because I thought that, like, surely if I watch Irreversible and then watch Jean de Florette, there is nothing that Jean de Florette can throw at me.
Yeah.
Which is, like, it's a sad film.
It's a different type of sad.
Right.
Yeah.
I probably did not need to watch Irreversible for this.
No, you didn't need to prep with Irreversible. Because this is not new French extremity.
Because, like,
depravity sad. This is like This is like Greek tragedy sad.
Because like Gerard Depardieu. We're gonna fuck up a lot of French
Gerard
names
Depardieu
on this episode, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because
Come at us,
I hate their
frauds.
silly language. Yeah, honestly, Jean de Florette should feel lucky that chunk of rock hit his head and killed him because he didn't have to go through a tenth of what Monica Bellucci
right.
has to go through in Irreversible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different type of sad. Like from did you have anything else to say about Irreversible?
No, not necessarily a recommendation.
Okay.
Just like,
It's a movie you watched.
if you're interested in it and you want to go down that dark,
Yeah.
depressing, depraved road,
Yeah.
it's an interesting film and there are interesting things about it. I personally kind of have mixed opinions on it, but it is my first Gaspar Noé film, and it's a rough one.
Yeah. Now I've never seen it, but I know about it.
Yeah.
Did it make your evil films list?
It did.
Okay, cool.
It's
interesting to know.
It's quite the story, at least in the original cut, is told in reverse, Memento style. I haven't seen Memento, but Gaspar Noé was like, "Oh, what if we did the story backwards like Memento?"
Yeah.
So like it really front loads the evil shit.
Right.
And then you get the scene in the middle.
Right.
And then from there, because the story's told in reverse, things are lighter.
It gets nicer. Yeah.
But you still kind of leave the movie feeling pretty icky and gross. Yeah. And like, it's one of those where I kind of wonder what it was all for.
Right.
But not in a way that feels entirely like completely misguided and misogynistic and exploitative.
Right.
I understand that people have that opinion. I also understand the people who think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I'm sort
You're
of
somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Speaking of tragedies that kind of leave you wondering what it's all for, that's kind of a thing with this movie.
Yeah. Partially
yeah.
because it's a part one.
Yes, which I sort of told you. I told you there was a sequel.
Okay, I don't know that I remembered that.
Okay. So this was sprung on you.
Yeah, but I did look into it, and I guess that it was originally there was originally a film that was made in the 50s that focused on the storyline that's in the sequel
Mhm.
and had flashbacks to the Jean de Florette sort of story.
Yeah.
Then the person who made that film wrote a book
Yes.
that was told in two parts.
Yes. A
And-
diptych, as they call it.
Yeah.
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 And
Your mother was enjoying my diptych last night.
don't talk about my mom that way. She's a nice lady.
She is a nice lady. And then this film was
Yeah.
the first time that they adapted the first part of
First
the book,
part, yeah.
and I guess both parts were shot back to back.
Yes. The book was a big.
Sort of like a French Dune in that way. And
Yes.
also, water's a big theme.
I was thinking about Dune watching.
Oh
this.
my god!
Okay, once you see part 2 of this movie, Jean de Florette, the story of Jean de Florette and Manon of the Spring is basically the story of Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2.
You have seen the sequel then.
I have seen Manon of the Spring.
Okay, so talk about your history with
So
this.
my history of this movie, I'm pretty sure, I think I'm remembering this correctly because it was from my childhood. Because this movie's rated PG. So the first time I saw this, the only other time I saw this movie, I was probably like 12 ish, somewhere in there. And I'm pretty sure this was a library rental. Speaking of irreversible, you didn't even know that when you brought that up. It turns out library rentals is a recurring theme of this episode.
Yeah, I also picked up Idiocracy
Oh, nice.
and a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel to just showcase the diversity of my choices.
That's awesome that the Flagstaff Public Library also has a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel.
It's Leatherface.
Hell yeah.
The recent one.
Nice. I'm
Because
sure
there's
that's
another
yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie called Leatherface.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah. I'm
I-
sure it's really good.
I also rented the 3-hour science fiction film The Postman, directed by Kevin Costner.
Oh my god.
Just as like, it's funny because now I work for the Postal Service, I should watch this.
I kind of want to watch that with you. We maybe should figure out a
I should
time.
bring that over.
Yeah, we maybe should watch The Postman together. Because I listened to Blank Check's episode on The Postman, and after listening to that episode, I was like, I think I have to watch this movie. Not because it sounds good, but because I can't picture what they're describing. And I think I need to see this with my own eyes.
All right, we'll figure it out. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure this was a library rental. I'm pretty sure my mom rented Jean de Florette from our local library, which had it because it was like this prestigious French film from the 80s. It's in the Criterion Collection and stuff. And we watched it, and then they also had Manon of the Spring, the sequel, and so we rented that and watched that too. And I remember watching both of them. There is one scene that I don't want to spoil in case you're interested in watching Manon of the Spring.
I sort of am.
Okay.
Because like after this, I really love the way that this movie ends.
Yeah.
But I am sort of wondering what comes next.
Yes.
And it is like, okay, does she get a machine gun and start gunning these dudes down?
So yeah,
I read that previous TGMEM alum Emmanuel Baer from Mission Impossible
yes,
plays Manon
grown up Manon.
in that film, and I famously had unkind words to say about her acting in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Maybe she's a better actress in her native language than English.
Based on my very vague recollection of that film from many, many years ago, I remember liking her in it, but it's been a really long time. But yeah, all I was going to say is I'm not going to spoil it because you sound interested in watching it, but there is a scene in Manon of the Spring that when I saw it at like 12-ish years old, it really burned a hole in my memory, and I cannot forget it.
Okay.
It is a visual that I will carry with me for the rest of my life, probably. And when you watch the movie, you'll know the exact moment that I'm talking about. Anyway, nothing quite that extreme in this movie, but this movie is like the thing I remember about watching this as a kid. And a thing that I think I felt again watching it as a much older person than the first time is around the halfway point in this movie. For the first half, it's kind of like a delightful little pastoral romp, and there's like an early act of like absolute like cold-blooded murder. But then after that, But then after that, we're kind of just chilling in the French countryside, you know?
It is a very goofy act of cold-blooded murder.
It is a goofy act of cold-blooded murder, which I kind of like about it. I kind of like that it's like, whoopsie, killed him. But then, like, around the hour mark, the tone starts to subtly but noticeably shift into an impending sense of, like, inevitable doom that kind of carries you through to the end of the movie. And I remember experiencing that as a kid and being like, I didn't know movies could do this, because I was young enough that I had mostly seen like children's entertainment back then, where if there is a sense of danger, it's usually brief and fleeting and kind of replaced with a sense of like hope and optimism shortly thereafter, right? And I remember this movie being the first time where I was like, oh, things are getting bad, and I can tell they're only going to get worse, and I don't think this is going to end okay.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is not as sad as, like, Manchester by the Sea,
right,
but it ends with a much bleaker, nihilistic view of humanity than Manchester by the Sea does.
Yes, this is why I picked this for March Sadness, is because I think the difference between Manchester by the Sea and Jean de Florette in terms of like them being sad movies, right, is that Manchester by the Sea is sort of about learning to live with grief, like not letting sadness paralyze you and learning to like move on from it. And it feels like Jean de Florette is not, and this is a standalone movie in its own right. I do want to say it is part one of a two-parter, but this does not feel like an unresolved arc. It is a complete artifact in and of itself.
Yeah.
So we can talk about...
Unless you want to see Man Out of the Spring dish out some cold-blooded revenge.
Yeah. I will say, like, you're not...
They stole her father's farm.
You're, like, not wrong.
Now she's back to kick some ass.
It's like quieter and more arty and French than what you're imagining, but that's the thrust of it, is that in Manon of the Spring, it is about her getting revenge on César and Ungolin. However you pronounce his name. Ungolin? I don't know.
It sounded looked like a name of a orc in
Lord
of the Rings.
Yes, Ungolin, the fucking Lord of fucking Barad-dûr. But the second one is kind of a revenge movie where she is, because we in the last scene of this movie we know that she like knows what the whole plot was, and so when she grows up she's like still holding that grudge. And the Dune comparison is not far off, because it is Paul Atreides watching his dad get killed by the Harkonnens and then being banished to the desert and then coming back and enacting revenge on them. It is like it's not a sci-fi movie, and it's on a much smaller scale.
Yeah, she doesn't start a jihad that
and she just
spreads across the universe and kills 60 billion people.
Manon's banners do not fly over a universal genocide. No? But it's like, it's at the core of it, like at the root of it, it is kind of the same story, which is kind of funny. I was thinking about Dune a lot watching this movie, where I was like, Manon is kind of Paul Atreides. She's the Paul Atreides of like rabbit farming. And instead of spice, it's just the water.
Yeah.
He who controls the water controls the hills of Provence. But I don't know. I guess that's my history with the movie, is that this was one of the first movies where I realized that like movies can be sad and right. The difference between this and Manchester by the Sea is like, Manchester by the Sea is like, you carry that grief with you, but you learn to overcome it and you live to move on. And I feel like this movie, and not to spoil any plot elements of Manon of the Spring, but I feel like Manon of the Spring has a lot of the same stuff as this movie to say about grief and about greed and about sort of the cruel the way that fate kind of cruelly decides who lives and who dies and who prospers and who suffers, right? And our attempts to affect those things sometimes succeed and sometimes fail, and it's kind of a dice roll, right? And I don't think Manon of the Spring is much more optimistic than this movie. Like, I kind of feel like watching Manon of the Spring doesn't make this movie feel any more of like an upper, you know? And this movie, unlike Manchester by the Sea, I feel like is the more nihilistic movie. It does feel like it's like, yeah, you can try your hardest and you can you can put your best foot forward and you can work really hard. And ultimately, at the end of the day, there might be some guy who has it out for you, who's smiling to your face, and you don't even know, right? And it feels like that's like a not just a social truth, but a societal truth, like a structural truth, right? This movie does feel a lot like it's like César is a rich guy who wants to get richer and is like sabotaging the efforts of like a middle class guy because that's how he's gonna profit, you know. And it's like that and that's like just a sad unpleasant truth that we all live with in our day-to-day. And I feel like this movie does a pretty good job of distilling that tragedy into like a pretty like digestible plot arc, you know.
Yeah, there's elements of this movie too that feel biblical.
Yes, it feels like Job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It feels like a story from the Old Testament about this this man suffering and enduring hardship and tragedy and pleading to God for answers and getting nothing in response.
Yeah.
Down to the fact that one of the first ways that they describe Jean is that he's a tax collector.
Yes.
And that is not necessarily a job that we have anymore in the same sense.
Right.
That's the Internal Revenue Service.
Right.
But I mean, like, I remember the stories from the Bible about how tax collectors were considered the lowest of the low.
Right. They were like vilified by the rest of society.
Yeah.
For the role that they played.
Yeah, leeches preying off the poor.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that description in mind, you're kind of on Ungolin and César's side for part of the movie.
Yes.
Until
you meet him.
Until you meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it like once you meet Jean, I think Gerard Depardieu is phenomenal in this movie. I think he's fantastic. And I guess we can just talk about him now. But like the thing that makes this movie work as a tragedy to me is that you have to love him so much that even when his struggles are his fault, which the movie does not sugarcoat. Like I feel like this movie is this story is pretty interesting because it is man versus man, right? It's César is sabotaging Jean. And it's also man versus nature because like the rain's not coming. But it's also man versus self because he is fucking up. Like he makes bad decisions. Ultimately, his death is because he ran into the rubble of the dynamite that he set off, right? He did that to himself. Now, he wouldn't have been digging the well if it hadn't been for those other things, right? But it's like ultimately, he also self-sabotages. And you have to love him even when he's making mistakes. And I feel like Gerard Depardieu is he has this like boyish joy and like light in his eyes. And like, he's the handsomest little hunchback drunk you've ever seen.
This is the first Gerard Depardieu film that I've seen. I'm gonna be fucking up names this whole time.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Legendary French actor, but I haven't seen him in much else either.
Yeah,
I've maybe seen him in one or two other things.
He's a name that I know.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen him in anything else. And you're right. I think this whole movie hinges on him. Obviously, he's the title character, but for a good portion of it, he's not the protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ungolin and César, and we're seeing things from their perspective. And for him to sort of just walk into this movie and walk into this life that he's totally unfamiliar with this renewed sense of purpose and this desire to change and this desire to learn and grow and try.
Yeah.
And it's so like his whole sense of optimism is so infectious that even when he's down in the dumps, when he's starting to deal with the tragedies of being a farmer in the French countryside and unable to fully accept what he's going through, you still have to like hope that he gets through it and be on his side.
Yeah.
Because like for all of this movie's efforts to vilify him, you know, both from the characters and just the fact that like he's relatively well off. He's a tax collector. He comes from the city. Those sort of like class things that would I was reminded of Parasite a lot in this because it's like it's at least the way that I interpreted it at first was like these lower class guys scheming against this upper class dude.
Yeah.
And you know, he is painted in a much more three-dimensional way than in something like Parasite or other films that deal with class.
Right.
So like you have to love and be touched by his desire to change and his desire to return to like a more simplistic life.
Yes, he wants to live an authentic life. And there's something admirable about his goals, right? It's like it's pretty clear to me they never, one of the things I like so much about this movie and about just like the French cinema that I have seen is that this movie does not need to tell you things about the characters for you to innately understand them in a way that I feel like American cinema sometimes struggles with.
Oh,
right?
sure.
One of the things that I get big time from Jean, just from the way that he tackles problems and from the ways that he talks about his dream of living in Provence and the way he interacts with his neighbors and stuff, is that this is a guy who didn't like being a tax collector, right? He hated his job in the city. He didn't like that. He describes it as the hell of the city, right? Like, he was unhappy in his old life. And he's like, I want to be truer to myself. I feel like the real me is out here in the countryside. Like, the real me, the authentic me, is growing his own food and is getting water from the spring and is raising rabbits, right? And it's like, you see how happy he is out here, and you're left to imagine the miserable Jean hunched over a desk in, pun not intended, but...
Unfortunate, but still, yeah.
Yeah, right, in the city. And it's like that, he can't go back there. He would rather fail here than succeed there. And it's like, that's a thing I can relate to, you know, as a guy who left a job that he hated for a job that pays less, right? It's like, I see, and like, so, but I don't think that's just me projecting on the character. I think it's in the text of the movie, but it's subtle enough that they don't have to show you him sad in the city for you to understand that it is not an option for him to return to that old life. Because the real Jean is out here. And it's like, it's a shame that instead of his neighbors coming together and allowing him to find that, right? The tragedy of the movie is that instead they're like, no, fuck this guy. He can't find himself out here.
Yeah.
There's no room for him out here.
The other thing that the movie doesn't necessarily clearly spell out that I kind of appreciated and got out of it is that from the get-go, Jean loves the country.
Yeah.
And describes it as beautiful. He's so he's so in love with the plant life and the birds and the way everything
the poetic
looks.
way that he talks about like the azure sky and stuff. It's like and Ungolin like looks at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, I've never just, you know, thought of it as beautiful before.
Yeah.
But the difference is Jean loves the countryside of Provence, but Ungolin and the other farmers respect it.
Yeah.
They understand it.
Yeah.
They know of, you know, they know the harsh realities of nature. They don't just appreciate they don't really appreciate its aesthetic beauty. It's a life or death thing for them.
Yeah.
And the movie never really paints either perspective as totally wrong.
Yes, which I think that's a thing that I respect so much about this movie, is that especially like its villains, you don't, like, there are moments where César is right when he's talking about Jean. right? He's like he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't understand the consequences of this decision that he's going to make. And you see that come to bear later in the movie, and you're like, yeah, Cesar knows his shit. He's been farming this land for his family's been farming this land for generations. He's not an idiot. He's not wrong. Just because Jean got lucky with his first harvest, doesn't mean that he's not set out to fail, like Cesar has always been saying. And so it's like his perspective on the land isn't wrong. What's wrong is like both of these guys with these disparate views sort of have like the moral responsibility to share what is good and helpful about each of their approaches with each other for their mutual benefit. And like that, the difference between Jean and Cesar is that Jean does that. He like Ungolin has a line where he's like, now he's teaching me things. Yeah. Because Jean has read all these books and he has all these modern methods, right? And it's like the difference between Jean and Cesar is that Jean is very welcoming. He's like, I will share my knowledge with you. Yeah, I read this thing in a book. It might be helpful, right? And Cesar is like guarding his secrets and literally like digging up the spring and stopping it with cement, right? Because it's like from his like Cesar is the capitalist, right? Where he's like, I have a competitive advantage, and instead of sharing that with my neighbor, I have a responsibility to keep that information secret so that I can profit from it. Right?
Yeah, and Jean's perspective, I think, is really well framed throughout this movie, where he's like, he's done the research and he's put in work and he's trying.
Not an idiot.
He's a man of science and logic, and I think him coming from the city is like another kind of shorthand that the movie uses to illustrate that part of his character arc. But that fails him. And when that fails him, he turns to superstition, whether that's religion or, the divining rod to find the well, because he's not been given the knowledge from the farmers who work the fields every day and understand how it works in a way that, doesn't come from science or from superstition. It comes from experience.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you're wanting this whole movie is like someone just like show him what's going on.
Yes.
And you're waiting for Ungolin the whole time to struggle with his relationship to Jean, because he's a pawn in all of this.
Yes.
Cesar has manipulated him and guided him into leading Jean astray, so that together they can both profit off of growing flowers on the land.
The carnations.
Yeah, after they drive Jean to ruin. And you only get the faintest hints that Ungolin is struggling with this throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Until the very end of the movie, and that final scene of them breaking open the cement from the spring, and then the water spilling out. And you understand that it was about this the whole time. And any sort of struggle that he had about his relationship with Jean has been completely thrown out the window once he finally sees the water, the money in front of him.
Yes, yeah. And I do like how Ungolin does, the subtlety of his struggle is a thing that I kind of like, where it's like we do see that he likes Jean, because it's impossible not to like Jean, I'm thinking about the listener right now, and I'm like, I hope that they're following this. I hope you watched the movie.
Yeah, watch the movie.
Right. But basically, right, for anyone who has made it this far and who's planning on watching a movie after the episode, right? Like, the setup is there's this land, there's a spring on it. Cesar wants the land to grow carnations. His nephew, Ungolin, has this plot to make this big carnation farm, but they need a lot of water. So he murders the guy who currently owns the land. The land gets passed to that guy's sister, who passes away, and then to Jean de Florette, which is Gerard Depardieu, who moves in with his family. And then he's like, I want to keep the land and live on it as my most authentic self, right? And all the stuff in the middle of the film is like Jean's series of like successes and then failures.
Yeah.
And Angolan is there the whole time. And I love tracking him throughout this movie and just watching how he's reacting, because like I do think it is a pretty subtle it's a pretty subtle performance from Daniel Auteuil. I think I'm saying that wrong. Another legendary French actor who I've seen in Cachet. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else. But it's a pretty subtle performance from him, but I like seeing the moments where he genuinely feels good about helping Jean. Like there are moments early when Jean is succeeding, there are moments where he's like, this is bad for me, but like I kind of have to be happy that he's happy because he's also my friend and he's sharing his wine with me. And the big one for me is when he gives him the basket of vegetables. And Angolan is like, you see kind of on his face, he's like, oh, this is really bad for me. His crop yield is great. You know, he's not going to fail like we need him to. But then he takes the basket of vegetables back to César, and there's kind of a mix. It feels like there's a mix in Angolan of like, this is really bad for us, but also, look at these. I'm really proud of my homie.
Yeah, because Jean's so fucking nice. And he's like, this is me paying you back for all your help.
Right, because Angolan has been like giving him water from the well. Because César is like, be nice to him so that he doesn't suspect anything, right? And so he's been giving him water from the well and he's been letting him use his mule and stuff. And it's like, when he gets the basket of vegetables, there's a human part of him that is like, hell yeah, Jean, like, good job. And then he's like, no, I can't think that way because I'm trying to fuck this guy over. And it feels like the fundamental intrinsic tension between empathy and capitalistic competition is like the thing at the heart of this movie. Like the mutually exclusive concepts of greed and empathy is like what this movie's about. You know, like if you are trying to amass wealth for yourself, you can't care about other people. It's not that people who don't care about other people are greedy. It's that if you choose greed, you have to cut out empathy because there is no room for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love the portrayal of César by Yves Montand, who another legendary French actor in this movie in one of his final roles between this and Men All of the Spring.
Right.
Because he starts off the movie as just like kindly old man taking in his nephew and being like, you should marry a nice girl.
His nephew who just returned from World War I, which I feel like is also not an insignificant thing about this movie, is that this is France immediately post the Great War, right? Yeah.
He's just taking his nephew and being like, you should find a nice girl, let's get some money together, etc. And then he very quickly becomes Machiavellian evil.
Yes. And you get the feeling that he always has been, but he has this like nice side to him, right? It's like this guy's been like this his whole life, and people in town talk about him like he's a mob boss, right? Where they're like, oh, the Sobillons are going to do whatever they're going to do, stay out of their business, right? And it's like it seems like this family has a reputation for taking what they want, and if you're in their way, that's bad for you.
Yeah.
And he was reminding me a little bit of Robert De Niro's character from Killers of the Flower Moon. Because similarly, Robert De Niro in that movie has this very pleasant, personable, approachable exterior, and inside he's a fucking monster. A fucking bigoted monster, which César also is, because notably, like, I already used the H word. This movie calls Jean de Florette a hunchback.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what the polite word would be to describe someone with that condition.
Yes, but he is physically disabled.
Mm-hmm.
He has a clear, a visible physical disability that he can't hide, right? And a big part of this movie is people othering him because of that, right? And César uses that in a much the same way that Robert De Niro's character in Killers of the Flower Moon does, right? It's like both of these guys, Cesar and that character from that movie, don't care about the ism that they are using to get what they want, right? They're preying upon the prejudices of other people in order to exploit the resources of the land that somebody else owns, right? And it's like all of the stuff where like the townspeople are so like Cesar and Angolan are like turning the townspeople against Jean de Florette because of his disability and because he's from the city, right? Is like, it's really interesting to me because it's like Cesar doesn't actually care about those things. He just views them as things that he can use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The scenes in the bar or the tavern,
Yeah.
where there's just a bunch of like old fat French guys sitting around drinking wine.
All these farmers being like, "My chickpea harvest is going to shit."
This movie has some comedy in it, and that's where a lot of that comes out. But it's just these guys sitting around talking shit about this guy.
Yeah.
Talking shit about Jean, and making assumptions about him because he has a hunchback.
Yes, and making fun of his disability and like really gross shit.
Yeah. And it just spreading lies and rumors to the point where like there's one of the scenes in the film where he comes into town with his family to get bread.
Yeah.
And on the way back, these guys are playing this ball game, and one of them intentionally throws the ball in such a way that it splashes mud all over Jean de Florette and his daughter.
Yeah.
And he gets so angry, he picks up the ball and doesn't throw it.
Yeah.
He doesn't react because he wants to be a good person. He wants to be the bigger person.
Right.
And you just want him to fucking lay into these fucking French assholes.
Yeah, especially because he's Gerard Depardieu. He's fucking huge.
Yeah.
He's like bigger than all of them.
Yeah.
And he has to be like the gentleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like, no, like I'm gonna walk away from this. I love in this scene the shot of Manon in her little blue raincoat with the mud splashed across the hood. Just staring straight ahead.
And it's just a little bit too. Like that shot, the close up.
Yeah.
There's just a little streak of mud on it. And it's enough for me as a viewer to become emotionally invested in this character in this moment.
Yeah. And it's like the thing that the movie I think never says in a loud way, but is communicated so well, especially through this scene, is like that's a hate crime. Right? Like, it's like they are doing that because he is like a guy with a disability, right? And it's like this whole story ultimately is like a guy getting hate crimed by his community but in a way where the movie doesn't like talk about it like that. And I think that that's like one of the things that makes this like so tragic. Is that it's like, yeah, ultimately the thing that they are like Cesar, if it was anybody, Cesar would be after them. But the fact that this guy comes in and has an obvious difference from his community,
right?
Cesar is able to exploit that to turn the community against him easier if a guy who wasn't disabled had come in and taken over the property.
He finds something that he can weaponize
against
the others.
Yeah.
I do want to deviate just for a second because we've alluded to a couple of my favorite characters in this movie who are just guys in the background in this movie.
Yeah.
So one of the French guys at the bar looks like Mario. He's got like a big I don't know why this guy isn't in the Italian countryside as opposed to the French countryside.
Well, Yves Montand, who plays Cesar, is Italian born.
Okay.
And that's where that big thick mustache is coming from.
Okay, that makes sense. But there's a younger guy who looks like Mario. Yeah. Also, the bar owner or the bartender in the town's bar looks a lot like Jacques Renault from Twin Peaks. like a dead ringer for Jacques Renault.
That's just what every French bartender looks like, I guess.
And then one of them ended up in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I'm blank as a fart.
Also, the guy that they kill, he has a name.
Okay.
His
Yes.
name is Marius.
Yes.
And he's my favorite character in the movie.
Yes.
And he's in the movie for precisely 1 minute before
Yeah.
he dies in the most undignified manner.
They really kill this guy in a way where it's like you're laughing at his death until you realize that he's dead. And then you're like, oh shit. I thought we were horsing around.
And that's when you realize that Cesar is like fucking
He's
fucking evil because he's like, I didn't mean to kill him, but maybe
this will be good for me.
Be good
And
for
then-
us.
And then he thinks about it more. They're walking away. He thinks about it more, and he's like, "Actually, let me go finish him off." And Angolan has to be like, "No, someone will see you." Like he's like, "No, I'm gonna finish the job. I'm gonna make sure he's dead."
Yeah, but Marius is just trimming his tree, and
Yeah.
these fucking dickheads have to bother him.
Yes. And immediately Marius is antagonistic towards them because he's dealt with the Saboyans before. He knows what these guys do. He's like, you're coming up to fucking like try and steal my land. Like that's your deal, right? And he gets combative with them, and then they yoink him out of the tree and swing him around and bash his head into a rock.
They swing him around like, you know.
They don't do anything. Angolan is standing there not doing shit.
Yeah.
Cesar pulls him out of the tree.
Cesar pulls him out of the tree and then swings him around like an uncle would swing around his niece or nephew at like the family reunion.
Yes, but then he lets him go, and his face lands directly on a rock.
Yeah, and my favorite character is gone from the movie just as soon as he entered.
Yeah,
he gets buried with his shotgun, which respect.
The funniest joke in this movie to me is when they're like doing the funeral procession for him, and they're like, that shotgun was loaded, it's got a hair trigger, and they all part so that if the shotgun accidentally goes off, it doesn't shoot them.
they were like
really
maybe
good
he
joke.
engaged the safety catch. No, it doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, it's a really good joke. I love all these guys being like, I'm not gonna be shot
Can
at
we
this
get-
funeral.
Can we get a third movie?
Yeah.
Is all I'm asking.
About
and we
Marius?
get about Marius.
So Marius is a contender for a thing which I am going to deploy on this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a disgusting shit person news bulletin.
We haven't had one of these in a while.
I know. I
almost
wanted to
forgot
bring it
what
back.
it felt like.
I wanted to bring it back. So Marius,
And maybe we've had contenders
Yeah,
in the
maybe.
interim that just
Yeah.
haven't quite. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't. For whatever reason, we didn't feel the itch. I feel like Jeff Goldblum late into the movie in Deep Cover maybe would have qualified.
But again, there's a
There's a
There's
certain
an
je ne sais
smell.
quoi.
there's an olfactory
Yes.
quality to a disgusting
Yes.
shit person that I think Marius
Yes.
fits the bill of.
Yes, Marius is a potential disgusting shit person, but the real disgusting shit person of this film, the one who takes the cake, we've talked about him a little bit already, is Angolan.
Okay.
This guy is like, Marius is a disgusting shit person, but he's sort of the ancillary one. He's off to the side here. The main focus, the creme de la creme of the disgusting shit people of Provence is Angolan. Cause like early in the movie, Cesar is like walking into his room and being like, "It smells like shit in here. What have you been doing?" He's always disheveled. He's
been jerking off for the last 2 weeks.
That's what I think it is.
in the darkness.
That's what I think it is. I think it is like crusty spooge is what Cesar is smelling. And inside his briefcase that he brought back from war, he has like a bunch of like Polaroids of sexy ladies and stuff. So he's definitely jerking off.
Oh, we see that in the movie?
Yeah, there's like, he opens it up for the
Okay.
the carnation starters that he has in his suitcase. There's like a bunch of like pictures of like sexy ladies inside on the inside of his suitcase that he has like pinned to the lining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely pounding it then. He's
Yeah.
got about 90 years before someone invents Pornhub.
Yeah. Right. So he's just looking at this grainy Polaroid that he bought off of a dude in Germany while he was like, while he was on the Western Front, you know? He's like, yes, I met an Italian girl.
Just one of those days where you pound it, you warm up something in the microwave,
Yeah.
and you sit on the couch and you eat for a bit, and you go take a nap.
Yeah.
Then you wake up from the nap and you pound it
You pound
again.
it again.
And then you look at your house and you're like, man, this place is a fucking pigsty. Someone should clean this up. And then you just go back to sleep.
Yes.
And that happens for days on end.
That's how Angolan has been living for probably since before the war. You know, the war pulled him out of his jerk-off shack. And he had to like go serve his country for a little bit, but he came back and went straight into jerk-off shack
and
mode.
also, this man survived the war through the mercy of God and that alone, because this motherfucker is dumb as hell.
Yes. They do describe him as a half-wit, which I'm like, I don't know if that's just them saying that he's stupid or maybe like he has some kind of something, you know? But it's like the actor is not playing any kind of disability. It just seems like this guy is not bright.
No, he's not Jeremy Strong in The Judge.
Thank God.
Thankfully. But the prosthetic nose, the fake nose, and the horrific teeth are doing a lot of the legwork.
He has absolutely repulsive teeth, which is one of the reasons that he is the disgusting shit person for this movie, because he's in so much of the movie. Like, Angolan is kind of the main character of the movie in a lot of ways. And he's the first person you see on screen is him. And the last person, actually. And spending so much time with this dude and like seeing his human side, seeing the empathy he has for Jean, but also seeing his greed and the ugly side of his character. And the whole way through, you are just looking at these fucking teeth.
I don't know if these are his real teeth. I did read that the nose was a prosthetic.
I don't think his teeth actually look like this.
Yeah.
I think if they're not prosthetic, they definitely at least dirtied his teeth up for the role.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are not even yellow. They're brown at
the
this
shit
point.
That really sealed the deal for me, pun very much intended, is when Angolan is showing Cesar the carnations for the first time. Because, like, Cesar shows up at his house. Angolan's still in bed. He's like, get the fuck up. It smells so bad in here. You're just laying around all day. And Angolan gets up and is like, don't be mad at me. I got something to show you. And he goes out and shows him the carnations. There is a shot from behind of Angolan from the back, where on the ass crack of his pants there is like a weird suspicious stain. And I'm like, that's either ass sweat or worse. And I was at that moment I was like, this guy's a disgusting shit person. Like, he may have literally shit in these pants. He's repulsive. And then also, when he's at Jean's house, being friendly with Jean, and Jean's like, yeah, he's all right, you know? And Jean kind of has to defend him to his family. He's He's like, hey, don't judge him by his appearance. You know, I know he's not that much to look at, but he's a good guy.
He does call him ugly.
Yes, which I kind of think is maybe a translation thing, but maybe not. Maybe
that could. I did get this. I took French in high school.
Yeah,
because I was the one who wanted to be different and take something that wasn't Spanish or Navajo, which would have been both of those would have been way more useful for where we live than fucking French.
Way more people in our community speak Navajo and Spanish than French.
Yeah.
You took French?
I took French.
I don't think I've made fun of you enough for that.
That's fair. I think I deserve it.
Yeah.
I have been the particular route that I've been delivering mail on. I've been delivering mail to my old French teacher from high school.
I did know you took French because you did tell me this.
She hasn't come out and accepted it yet, but I'm just waiting for that to happen.
And you could be like, bonjour, madame.
I did forget that I took French in college and just skated through it.
Yeah.
I was just like, because it was probably entry-level French in college, and I just went back to entry-level French because, like, I can't fucking do anything higher than this.
Yeah.
I just have to get the credit and, like, take the B or the C or whatever I got. It was probably just a B. And move on because I can't do this again. Yeah. So I've been confronted with that, like, wow, I should have learned Spanish or
Yeah.
or Navajo.
It is funny for me to make fun of you for taking French in high school because I took Latin in high school.
I would honestly, I felt this way back then. I do now. I would love to learn Latin.
I learned but I didn't actually learn that much Latin because my Latin teacher was a Greek Orthodox priest who didn't
hold on.
actually speak Latin.
Hold on. You went to high school and they offered Latin?
That's right.
Okay.
I didn't go to private school.
What
or
kind of?
anything.
I was gonna say.
I went
what
to a
kind of
charter
high
school.
Oh,
I went to
all
a
right.
math and science focused charter school.
Yeah, I got fucking FUSD.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they call it FUSD.
I went to Tri-City College Prep High School in Prescott, Arizona. Shout out Tri-City. I dug a hole in the soccer field as my senior prank, and
I don't even think
me and my shitty little friends trashed campus.
I don't think we had a senior prank, but my parents did let me do senior ditch day.
Yeah.
Which was fun. I probably just stayed home and jerked off and played video games, which
That's some
is
shit on Golan
still
would love.
something that is often present in my schedule.
Yes.
Uh,
But it's not your whole life, which I feel like is the difference between you and Angolan. I also so the thing that I was gonna say, is that Jean kind of defends Angolan to his family, but his wife, Amy, and Manon, his daughter, get bad vibes.
Let me just jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Amy can fucking get it.
Oh yeah, she's gorgeous. Yes.
Anyway.
Former opera singer. She's got pipes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bet she does. I'd like to explore those with the head of my penis. Continue.
Yeah. Gross, but acknowledged. Yeah, so the wife and daughter are kind of like, Angolan is like giving us bad vibes, and John's like, no, he's all right. But we see, like, there is a moment that I think is not to be ignored, where Angolan is sort of leering at the very young child Manon at the dinner table.
Yes, I noticed this as well.
Yes.
Manon has very little dialogue in this film.
Yes.
And there are only probably 3 or 4 interactions that she has with Angolan throughout this film.
Yeah.
And the very first one is he kind of just looks at her in a way that is uncomfortable.
He is looking at her like a pedophile.
Yes, that's the only way I can describe it.
Yes.
I wonder how that plays into the next film.
It does play into the next film.
Okay. And then a couple of the interactions that they have later on, he passes by her on the road or on, and I think he's dragging his mule along, and he doesn't acknowledge her at all. Like, he doesn't say anything to her.
Yeah.
And she is like I said, like, doesn't have a lot of dialogue. She always seems like quiet and afraid, but observant.
Yes.
In a way that reminds me of, like, I guess since we already talked about De Niro,
Yeah.
Anna Paquin in The Irishman,
Yeah.
where she's just kind of always on the periphery.
Yeah.
Or the young woman who plays the same character as a child. I don't know her name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Where she's just kind of hanging on the outskirts of whatever's going on and just observing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very, like, cautiously observant of what's going on.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I clocked that moment too.
Yeah. And it is, I think, intentionally creepy and uncomfortable, where you're like, oh, ew. Right? Which is, again, why Angolan is a disgusting shit person in this movie.
This has been our Disgusting Shit People News Bulletin?
Yeah. Right.
We never actually ended the segment,
But
so...
now we have.
Sorry, there are rules here. We've established bits.
There are certain rules.
Watto and George Lucas are fucking.
Yes, they live in my walls. That's not a bit. That's just the reality I live every day.
H.R. Giger shows up every April to talk about an alien movie.
That's right.
And
disgusting shit person has ins and outs.
And Sean Connery possesses me, and then... Oh, wait, no, nothing weird
No,
happened that
nothing.
month.
That was normal.
It was a normal month.
Nothing weird happened, and it was a normal month.
You weren't sexually propositioned by the ghost of The dead Scotsman, Sean Connery.
I can't imagine a world in which that would have happened.
I've been walking around my house for the past week.
Yes, doing
Sean Connery for no reason.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yes, I think it's time to play some Bloodborne. Yes. What shall I have for lunch?
Would you
today?
cats like to eat some food? Ah, yes. I'm Sean Connery, and I'm very gay.
Ah, yes, Jean de Florette. If I were in your position, I would have simply manned up. I could pull 250 liters of water from the well.
I'd like to spray my cum all over Jean de Florette's hunch. Just smear it all in.
Yeah.
Then he can die from blunt force trauma from my cock, as opposed to a chunk of rubble. Justice, I apologize.
Huh?
I apologize.
Good.
For existing.
I think you should. Not for existing, but for some of what you just said.
for choosing to live my life in that particular way by interrupting our podcast with a Sean Connery voice.
It's fine. This episode needed some laughs. I feel like we've mostly been like in film analysis mode.
Oh yeah.
People need to remember what fucking podcast they're listening to. This isn't fucking
poo-poo, dicks, balls,
shit,
boobies,
cum,
explosions, guns.
Anyway, back to Jean de Florette. There is one explosion in this movie.
Yeah, it's a fucking doozy of an explosion.
But before we talk about the explosion in this movie, a thing that I want to talk about. I don't know if you had a thing that you wanted to
No,
hit
probably
next.
just more Sean Connery bits, honestly.
The thing that I wanted to hit next, because we've talked around a lot of the like misfortune that befalls Jean. There is like a pivotal moment in this movie, I think, where it fully becomes tragedy and never comes back. Is like there have been there's a drought, a summer drought that happens, right? There's no rainfall. It's a very hot summer. After his sort of prosperous first year, his second year is really rough, and there is a scene where Jean wakes up in the middle of the night thinking that he hears thunder. A not so funny observation that I had is that he's having rain dreams.
Like train dreams
yes,
with rain?
Yes, it probably wasn't worth saying on mic.
Fuck you.
But he wakes up.
You know what? For that,
yeah,
you're going to get one more Sean Connery.
At a time of your choosing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he wakes up in the middle of the night thinking he hears thunder and rain, and then realizes that it's nothing. And like the tension is just ratcheting up, and then like that happens again, but it's real. He hears like actual thunder, and he's like, the rain's coming, and he gets his whole family outside and gets so excited, and he's looking up into the sky, and lightning is striking. And he's like, oh, I just felt the first drop. Like, it's here, finally, like my salvation, right? And this is sort of like what you're talking about. He's kind of abandoned science because it hasn't been helping him.
Yeah, this is
and has leaned into faith.
This is the point when the movie kind of fully became this like biblical tragedy.
Yes. And I think this is maybe the most important moment of the movie. It's also one of my favorite scenes of the movie because you just have Gerard Depardieu like filmed from above. Like your POV is like you're the heavens looking down on him. And he has like his arms spread. And he realizes the rain isn't coming. It's over on the other side of the ridge or whatever. He's like, isn't there anybody up there? Don't you realize that I'm a hunchback? You think that's easy. And then he repeats, like, isn't there anybody up there? And then he says, there's nobody up there.
Yeah. I think that's the only time he references his disability in the movie.
It is. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, it's interesting to me.
Yeah.
As someone who doesn't necessarily have a physical disability in that way, he doesn't seem like he's lived his life defined by that until that moment.
Yes, until he's like, why are you punishing me? Haven't I been through enough?
Right.
Right. Yeah. And it's such a powerful moment, and I think Gerard Depardieu plays it so beautifully. It's like it does feel like biblical. Like it's like he's shouting at God and getting nothing back and just being like don't you care? Like, why did you do not only why did you do this to me this bad summer where there's no rain, but why did you do this to me? Like, why was I born in this body? You know? Yeah, it's really powerful. And I think it's the turning point in the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, until this point, we've been having some fun. And after this point, it's just like, nah, dude. Like, it's going to get worse. And it's going to keep getting worse until eventually he's in the ground, you know?
Yeah, he's also in full wino mode at this point of the
Oh,
movie.
boy.
Is there... we are both men who have been known to enjoy alcohol.
Yep.
Occasionally to excess.
Yeah.
Is
sometimes not so occasionally.
right. Is the wine drunk the lowest of the low?
The wino's a specific type of guy.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in Paris, because I spent like a couple days in Paris, there was a guy who I saw where I was like, this guy is going through it. He was a guy on a Paris subway holding a jug, like a jug of wine.
Nice.
Like what? Like basically like a brown glass beer growler style jug, but it was full of wine. Just drinking from it, and a bouquet of roses. The most French stereotype.
Oh, man.
Yes. So he's holding a jug of wine and a bouquet of roses, and he's singing, and then he's just yelling at people while they walk by him. And I didn't understand what he was saying because I don't speak French.
To be young and in love.
Yeah. But it was literally like just this guy on the train being like, like just singing in French and just slugging from this wine. And then someone would walk by him and he'd be like, "Hey, mademoiselle!
Sacre bleu!
Right. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself!"
Yeah. And I was like, ooh.
Now I'm transitioning to Watto. French Watto?
French Watto.
Ugh, somehow more cursed than Jewish Watto.
Yeah.
You smashed up on my powder last race. It take longer to fix than the Notre Dame, you motherfucker.
Cesar in some ways kind of is French.
Oh,
Watto.
yeah. He and Watto would be fucking bosom buddies.
Oh, yeah.
Betting at the Bunta Eve Classic.
Cesar would do very well as a slave master on Tatooine. Yeah. Based on how he mistreats his deaf maid.
Petit Annie.
Oh no. Ugh. Yeah, Ungolan just leering at young Jake Lloyd. Licking his lips. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, right. The wino thing.
The wino thing, yeah, sorry.
Yes. No, yeah. But yes, so like Jean has a certain joie de vivre about him. He enjoys a drink with friends, right? And early in the movie, it's like, oh, cheers to the beautiful sunset type of thing. They were sitting out on the patio, and he's like being a generous host and filling everybody's glass. And it's like, that's the type of like alcohol consumption where you're like, oh, this guy's like a party dude. He's like, he loves life, you know? And the later in the movie it gets, the sadder it gets, and he's hauling pails of water from the spring and just like slugging white wine by like just like guzzling it from the bottle.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Quick departure.
Yeah.
Side note. The way Gerard Depardieu plays those scenes where he's walking to the well and back.
Yeah.
The way those progress throughout the movie, where at the beginning he's talking with his wife and it's like, it'll be our Sunday walk to the well to get water.
Oh, we're going to go get water from the well.
And by the end, he looks like an Egyptian slave in the Ten Commandments.
I love his head strap.
Oh yeah.
That attaches, like, because he has like a water backpack basically, and there's like a strap that goes around his forehead to like keep the top of the water tank on the back upright. Yeah, anytime he's in that apparatus, I'm just like, man, that looks like fucking awful. And then he's like, right, and then he's like silhouetted against the sun, just like slugging white wine straight from the bottle, being like, I have to get through the day somehow.
And when he's digging through the
Daddy
rock,
needs his medicine.
he's digging through the layer of rock at the bottom of the well that he's digging, and he's just like, I can get through this in 2 weeks. And then he's slugging wine out of the bottle. He's like, oh, that hits the spot.
Yeah. I like the part where Cesar, like the vegetable harvest has happened, or maybe it's a little later than that, when his misfortune has started to strike, but it hasn't been catastrophic yet. And like Angolan's reporting back to Cesar, and Cesar's like, so far the only good news that you've given me is that he's switched to red wine, which is cheaper. Right? And so it's like, well, he's not buying the good stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the all of that stuff I think is like very just tracking that through his character journey, like the way he's consuming alcohol. Like initially it's like as a social lubricant, and then later on it's like something that he needs to continue to function. Also, one of the funniest unintentional jokes in this entire movie to me is when, so like there's the whole thing with his wife's necklace, right? She's got this fancy necklace, and he initially, she's like, oh, we could sell my necklace when they like start worrying about funds for the farm. And he's like, oh, I'd rather go barefoot than sell your necklace. And then when things get really bad, he turns around on that and is like, hey, babe, you know how you offered that necklace? How about we maybe think about pawning that? And yeah, we'll get it back, but they'll give us a loan. Like, we'll use it as collateral to get a mule or whatever. And then she has this very, like, tragic admission to him where she's like, I already sold the necklace. I only got 100 francs for it because the gems were fake. And he has a big, like, that's like a huge, like, earth-shattering moment for him. Yeah. But then, like, and that moment is really effective. But
partially because, like, he's done the math already in his head, and he knows, because that whole scientific, that logical based thinking that he has, it shatters his worldview. I mean, like, no, I figured it out. It should be worth this much.
Yes,
continue.
He was counting on it.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff is very effective. And yet, I am hooting and hollering when after this reveal, the wife is like, I'm sorry, I sold it a month ago because, like, you know, such and such was more expensive than we thought, and we drink so much wine.
Why are you laughing at Jean de Florette's misfortune?
Because it is so stereotypically French for the budget problem to be like, we drink too much wine, so I had to pawn my necklace to save our financial situation. Like, the thing that had to go was my costume jewelry rather than us cutting back on the booze a little bit. And she doesn't say you drink so much wine. She says we drink so much wine.
I am sorry, je suis désolé, but we must drink wine. We cannot cut back on the wine. It would be unthinkable.
What are you telling me? I'm going to have to stop drinking wine?
Next, you'll tell me I'll have to stop eating cheese and surrendering.
When are you...
All I have really to add is, like, a few years ago, I was living with a roommate and going through a period of, like, particularly rough depression. And I was drinking a lot. Yeah. Probably the most that I've drank in my lifetime, to the point where I wasn't quite an alcoholic, but it was, I recognized that, like, I need to cut back. And we got, like, boxed wine for a party or something, and I started getting drunk off the boxed wine.
Ooh, that's going to give you a bad hangover.
But my roommate was like, you're like a fun drunk when you have wine, as opposed to whiskey where you're, like, sad and pathetic. And I've never had wine I don't think I've had wine since then to the point of, like, being tipsy or even drunk off of it. But that's something I've always thought about.
Yeah.
I think my preferences in terms of taste are, like, beer first, then liquor, and then wine.
I like wine. I'm a wine enjoyer.
I don't dislike wine, but I'm like, I feel like I know the least about wine compared to everything else. And I don't even know that much about beer.
Yeah.
I just know the types of beer that I like.
Wine is the thing too, where it's like if you get into it, there's like so far to go.
Yeah.
Like you can get so into it. Whereas I'm just like, I don't know, I like this one. It tastes good. I don't know. Yeah. So after like the moment where things kind of turn with the like, is there anybody up there? There's nobody up there. We see him struggling more. There's all his trips to the spring get more and more kind of desperate.
Mm-hmm.
Like his donkey's maybe gonna die. He's asking Angolan to use the mule. Angolan is like making up excuses, which is a bit I love that where Angolan has the moral crisis about that, where he's like, I want to say yes.
He like they had talked about it, and he said sure, and then when when Jean de Florette, he has a name that isn't Jean de Florette. When Jean asks him about it, you see that moment of hesitation before he makes up the excuse.
Yes. And even César, a thing I like is that even César has a moment where he's like, I felt bad watching him fail and wanted to help him, but then I had to like remember what this is all for. Like, it's not just Angolan who's dealing with the moral dissonance of this, right? It's like César is there too, where he's like, I know this guy has to fail for my plan to work, but it doesn't feel good to do this to him, right? But yeah, so when the dust storm happens, that's a great moment.
Yeah.
I like the visual of that a lot.
When they put a yellow filter on the camera to simulate a dust storm.
Yeah, it works.
Blow some dust.
It works.
It does work. It's very funny.
It was
very funny to me.
Yeah. And
because it is like piss yellow.
It's really yellow. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe this is what a dust storm in Provence looks like. Who knows?
The dust storms, they are the color of peace.
Yeah. The dust storms are a crazy thing to experience. You grew up in Phoenix.
Yes.
Did you ever experience a haboob?
I didn't know it was called haboob at the time.
Yeah.
But
non-Arizona listeners, we get dust storms especially in the southern part of our state that are called haboobs, which is a very silly name.
Yeah. The only one that I remember, and it's a very distinct memory from my childhood.
Yeah.
Was bad enough that we had to shelter in our bathroom because there were no windows.
Yeah.
And I think we had had leftover pizza or something. So we're basically eating pizza on the floor of our bathroom while a dust storm was blowing over our house. And I don't think we suffered any damage because of it, but it was a possibility.
Yeah. The one that I remember is I was working at a big tech company office for my old job in downtown Phoenix. And I went to leave for the day, and a haboob was blowing in right around 5 p.m. when I was leaving for the day.
You had to outrun the haboob?
Basically.
Fucking Fury Road.
right. Yeah. me and my old silver Honda CRV and my 06 Honda CRV being like, witness me!
What a day. What a lovely day.
Yeah.
And a car on the 17 is just carried into the haboob and explodes.
Right, yeah, it turns into a huge fireball. Somebody's Ford F-150 Raptor, yeah.
Better movie than Jean de Florette.
Yeah, Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You could say that about most movies.
Jean de Florette, Fury Road.
Jean de Florette would not do well on the Fury Road. He's too sensitive.
He can't even handle that fucking mule.
Yeah.
And that wagon.
Yeah. Angolan seems built for the Fury Road. Like a lot, like he just seemed like, I feel like Angolan, you shave that guy's head, paint him white, you got a war boy on your hands.
He's a war boy.
He's a war boy.
That's grabbing the thunder poons and jumping into another car and exploding.
Yeah.
He's the first one to sacrifice himself for the Immortan.
César, in some ways, is the Immortan Joe of the French countryside.
I did not expect that we would go here on this episode.
And we're about to get off of it, don't worry. When I was working in this office in Phoenix, I went down the elevators to go home, and there was a haboob blowing in, and I just remember like so vividly there were these huge, like probably at least 15-foot glass doors in the lobby of this like big fancy office building, and all of them on their hinges were like flapping back and forth.
Oh shit.
Yeah, in the wind. It was crazy because they were just like, normally they were like held shut by some electronic mechanism in the hinges, and it's like, no, the wind was just too strong. They were just like waving like fans. It was wild. Then I drove home and it was mostly okay, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember them being a big deal as a kid, and and then when I moved up to Flagstaff, then I started seeing in the news about haboobs.
Yeah.
And I only really remembered that dust storm that we had when I was very, very young.
Yeah. I do think they're getting worse, as all major weather events are, due to human-caused climate change.
The ravages of climate change.
Right. Which is,
Don't know why I picked that voice.
potentially one of the things Jean de Florette is dealing with in this movie, because this is set in the 1920s. That's late enough after the Industrial Revolution that potentially some of this is due to human activity. But the dust storm is like catastrophic, and he falls ill for the first time because he's overworked himself. The doctor comes and they're like, is dad gonna get better or whatever? He recovers, and then I like the bit where like Jean is maybe going mad a little bit. Like his optimism starts to present as maybe a detachment from reality, and you start seeing in Amy and Manon, it's like dad is maybe not okay.
Yeah. And he's really pounding the wine at this point.
Yes. And it's like the thing where like Angolan is over and he's like, hey man, like, have you thought about selling the farm and just returning to the city? You could probably get a pretty good price for it. And Jean is like, no, I'm going to mortgage the farm and we're going to use the money and it's going to be a bigger success than ever. And it's like, that's a moment where, like I was saying before, Jean sort of is like his own villain, right? Where the responsible thing to do, like the thing that would probably be best for his family, is to just take the money and run at this point.
Yeah. His like relentless optimism is at odds with reality.
Yeah. And it's not like hubris. Like, I don't think it's like his ego. I think it is his deeply held belief that things are going to turn out okay, which is like a more tragic thing. It's more tragic than if it was like about him succeeding,
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about him. It's about like, he believes that things will go well if he does all the right things.
And it's, and everything from like, not engaging those, the French guy who throws the ball at him and splashes mud on him. It's a flaw in his belief in the way that the world works.
Yeah, right. He fundamentally doesn't understand. He, first of all, fundamentally doesn't understand that the deck has been stacked against him since he showed up. The spring has been cemented shut without his knowledge, right? But also, like, the community has been turned against him. Like, he has been, like, denied a fair chance, right? And he just doesn't understand that. And like that's information that he doesn't have. But when the fruits of that start to come to bear, and it is like it seems like he is having the worst luck in the world, the logical thing to do would be to walk away from the situation. And he just can't believe that it's not gonna get better, And like, that's the really sad thing in this movie, is that this guy can't understand that it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse, And then he blows himself up. He doesn't really blow himself up. He kind of blows himself up.
Also, letting the small child light the fuse, probably not a great idea.
It is a sweet moment, though. This kid, we haven't talked about the kid acting in this movie. We talked about Manon and about how she's sort of like I agree, kind of a cautious observer of the action of this movie. I think this kid is great.
Yeah?
She's phenomenal.
Certainly not annoying, which is the most that we can ask for on this show.
Yeah.
But great kid performance.
Yeah. And you get a lot out of her silent moments.
Right.
Like when the camera is on her and she's reacting to whatever is happening, you feel a lot of stuff it's not an empty performance at all. And I'm like, this kid seems plugged into the story, and it's like, how much of that is clever filmmaking and how much of it is actually this performance is like, I don't know, but like it really works.
Yeah, that discomfort that you get at her relationship with Angolan that seems to be pedophilic in nature, a huge part of that is just her reaction to him looking at her.
Yeah. Yes.
Throughout the film. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I the moments that are sweet with her and Jean, like you can see that she loves her dad and loves spending time with him. Like it never seems like she is like having a bad time on the farm. Like she's like watering the plants and stuff. She's like, there's so many like cute little moments. Like she like picks up a turtle out of the fields and like puts it in somewhere safe and stuff. And it's like, she seems like such a happy, gentle, well-loved, like well-adjusted child, you know? And seeing all of this like chaos kind of start to emerge around her, you're just like, as the viewer, you're like so worried about Manon the whole time, you know? Because it's like you're feeling for Jean and Amy, but like the whole time you're just like, and there's this kid here. There's like this little angel who is like in danger, you know? But yeah, I like that you get one last sweet moment with her when she lights the dynamite, because she believes in Jean, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, if my dad tells me that we're going to blow up this dynamite and there's going to be water in this well, I believe him, and I can't wait to see the water, you know? And Jean is like, you know, like, yeah, I want you to do the honors and light the match, and then I want you to call your mother so she can see, because I want everyone to be here when the water shoots up.
His optimism turns to like full delusion, but it manifests itself in like pure ecstatic joy.
Right. It's like he can't not be joyful even when everything in his life is telling him the opposite.
And he blows up the rock at the bottom of the well and runs towards it
to look,
see.
Yep.
And gets hit by a chunk of rock and falls in.
Yep.
Like a dumbass.
And it kills him.
Yeah.
And he dies. Yeah. And all of the stuff after he gets hit by the rock, like all of the like kind of slow, quiet moments of like the doctor coming to see him, and then him being pronounced dead, and Angolan stopping the clock, and
crying.
Yeah, right. And then the funeral, and the whole like the lawyers sitting down and transferring the property to Cesar. All of that feels like such a sad coda to this whole thing, where it's like, yeah, the light really has gone out from this world, because in the world of the movie, the light was Jean, and once he's gone, it just feels so gray and bleak and empty.
Yeah, and the whole time you're waiting to see what Angolan's reaction to all this is, because he does cry when Jean dies, and then goes back to Cesar, and Cesar asks him about it and tells him he stopped the clock, and he says, it's not me who's crying, it's my eyes.
Yeah.
And you're wondering if he's just trying to save face in front of Cesar, or if he's actually affected by this. And I think the answer is it's a bit of both, but by the end of the film, the final scene, it clearly doesn't matter to him.
Because what he has learned from Cesar is you have to cut out the empathy so that the greed can win, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what the last scene of this movie is about. It's like Angolan has successfully cut away the last remnants of his humanity, his connection to his fellow man, in pursuit of money, right? And we get the only reasonable reaction to that, which is a blood-curdling scream, right? Manon sees this and screams because she realizes what has happened, right?
Yeah.
It's like, my father's death was for nothing. It was for these two assholes to make a profit.
Yeah. And Cesar baptizes him in the water.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels perverse and disgusting and ugly.
Yeah. And the shot of Manon looking out over her father's land and her father's house and crying is such a beautiful little moment
Yeah.
to end this movie on. Like the baptism, the water baptism is right after that, and that's the real last shot of the movie. But like Manon just like staring out over the land and just like weeping is like, yeah.
We snap zoom to her eyes and the screen turns red and we play the music. Manon will return in Manon of the Spring.
Again, you're like, it's not quite how you're picturing it, but you're not wrong. She does. Though the next movie is her exacting revenge on these guys.
Hello, my name is Manon of the Spring. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is.
That's Jean de Florette.
That's Jean de Florette. Yeah. It's March Sadness, downer movie, different type of downer than Manchester by the Sea, but we're still feeling pretty bad over here for Monsieur Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as bad as I felt for Monica Bellucci in Irreversible, because, oh boy.
Yeah, right. Because everything that happens to Jean de Florette, he at least had the opportunity to walk away from this situation at any point. Monica Bellucci is not afforded that opportunity in Irreversible.
By the end, it's like, oh, she's in a coma and maybe was pregnant. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Gaspar, what have you done?
Yeah.
Why did you make this movie?
The depravity of the French filmmaker knows no bounds.
Oh, dear.
David, I don't remember if you asked me last week.
I
first
think I've
or...
been asking you first a lot. So
Okay. David is Jean de Florette, directed by Claude Berri, the greatest movie ever made.
Here's the fucked up thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've said that sentence a lot, and this is happening a lot. We've talked about this movie in a way that's very engaging, very, I think, tapped into the themes. There's a lot that I appreciated about this movie. I do not think it is the greatest movie ever made. But I did really enjoy it, and I think the performances are excellent, particularly Gerard Depardieu, but also from Yves Montand and
Daniel Auteuil.
The guy who plays Ungoliant. Ungoliant. That I think actually is from Lord of the Rings.
Ungoliant is the giant spider whose progeny is Shelob.
Yeah.
Ungoliant, yes.
And then you play Shadow of Mordor, and they turn Shelob into a sexy lady spider.
I don't love that.
It is not. Very beholden to Tolkien's lore, apparently. Anyway.
One time my older brother was doing a book report on some guy's biography of Tolkien, and this asshole spelled Shelob Shoebob, and that made it into the final edit.
Shoebob.
Like the published version of his book had Shelob as Shoebob.
Yeah. We're going to go on down to the bar and listen to Shoebob play the blues.
Shoebob.
Anyway, the performances are great. Also, gorgeous looking movie.
We didn't talk about that.
Especially the Criterion restoration.
Yes.
Oh my God, this movie looks great.
They did a restoration in 2015, and this movie looks this is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
A restoration to the point where this movie looked modern at times.
Yes.
Which is not something, like, Criterion does a great job with their restorations for the most part.
Yeah.
That's not something I would say about a lot of the Criterion restorations I've seen.
But gorgeous, gorgeous movie, and the shots are, like, the nature photography is gorgeous of Provence, but also, like, the interior shots are so well composed.
Yeah, shadows and the lighting's great.
Yeah.
The countryside looks great. Anyway, there's a lot that I loved about this movie. I loved the atmosphere. I loved kind of sitting in this movie, and even the kind of sort of comforting cycle of watching Jean go through tragedy after tragedy and come out of each one being like, well, maybe next time, everyone. And I love the ending. I think the tragedy of the ending and the disgust and anger that you feel at these characters for the sheer joy they have in having ruined this man's life only for their own financial gain is thematically satisfying and narratively satisfying in such a cool way. And I can't wait to see Menon have a roaring rampage of revenge, and the hills of Provence run with the blood of her enemies in the sequel. Brought to you by Canon Films, presumably.
It would be cool if she like killed them with a katana. That's not what happens.
I'm just saying. I hope the body count is much higher in the sequel.
Yeah. I do think, based on my recollection, I think more people die in the second one. But again, probably not in the way that you're hoping. Nobody gets decapitated. It's much more austere and French than that.
Yeah. So I mean, I really liked this movie. I was really impressed with the performances and the photography and the narrative and the themes. But I don't think it's the greatest movie ever made, which makes me think maybe we need to rethink the podcast. We've come to this point before, but it's sort of weird to like talk about this movie very positively and intelligently, and then get to the end and be like, so no, I don't think this movie is the greatest movie ever made, but it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And like it's I think has gained success since it came out and gained recognition. But like I was looking on Letterboxd and like none of our friends have seen it.
Right.
Or even the people that we're following.
Yeah.
So like if this sounds interesting to you and you've listened to the podcast and haven't seen the film at this point, seek it out. I think it's a well-made film and a nice departure from the type of stuff that we normally talk about.
Right.
So
yeah, we're classing up the podcast a little bit.
Yeah. Brought out a classic of French cinema on us. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah.
So just
Uh-oh.
Sorry. Just
he did warn me this would be happening one more time. I did earn this by doing whatever dumb joke I did earlier.
Justice.
Oh, it was Rain Dreams. That's what earned me this.
You bet your sexy little gleaming juicy ass that I had the pleasure of enjoying last summer with my penis. I have returned from hell, yes, me, Sir Sean Connery,
to
ask you, since David is
indisposed.
Preoccupied at
He's
the moment.
In hell, right?
Yes, being
As
ass
we
raped by the
previously
devil.
established.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
of course.
yes. His anus is bursting with cum
Yikes.
from the devil. It's black. He is black cum. Did you know that? The devil comes black.
I did not know that the devil had black.
Yes, I've gargled it several times. Sort of stains the teeth, kind of like when you leave the dentist after having your teeth. Yeah, anyways.
Right, like squid ink?
Yes. Quite viscous too, and hot.
That's horrifying.
Anyways, is Jean de Florette made by some fucking stupid French guy the greatest movie ever made?
Sean. I'm also wow, it's really hard to follow that. I'm going to agree with David here that maybe the premise of our podcast is stupid.
I've been saying that since the beginning.
Because like also I would give this one a no by our definition. And I am going to give it a no. That's going to be my verdict. Because it's not a movie that entertained me or compelled me so much that nothing else mattered in the world. But that's not really what this movie's like going for, I think. I don't think this movie's trying to entertain. It might be trying to compel you, but I think it is like trying to have a conversation with you. And I think that it does that very effectively. I'm not going to say that this is a movie that you can't get bored watching, because it is there's definitely a sort of like monotonous, repetitive element to this movie, which is intentional and is supposed to make you feel the feelings that Jean is feeling trying to make this farm work. So even when you're like maybe a little bored by this film, I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I think it's a movie that's well worth seeing. Like we talked about, it's gorgeous. The music is really good. That harmonica theme, like kind of Jean's like theme, which he plays on the harmonica diegetically in the movie at a couple points.
I bet it's not as good as Queen's soundtrack for Highlander, a film starring me.
You're right, it's not. Yeah, touche. Good point. Thanks for the perspective. But it is still quite good and effectively used in the movie. And like, I love a lot of things about this movie. It is a movie that I am really glad I revisited, because seeing it as a kid, I definitely don't think I appreciated it at the same level that I did this time. And yeah, like the ending is really tragic and profound, and definitely left me thinking about the sort of the futility of trying in some ways, which is like a pretty nihilistic takeaway. But I feel like it's one of the things that the movie is saying is it's like you can put as much effort as you want into something, and that doesn't guarantee success. And that's not a pleasant truth, but it is real. And all that to say, there's movies where I will throw them on and have way more of a good time than this movie. I'll enjoy myself a lot more. So I guess according to like the rules of our stupid podcast, it's not the greatest movie ever made. But like, watch Jean de Florette. It's fucking good. It's really good. Do you have anything to add, Sean? He fell asleep. Yeah, this is what we get for going cultured.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You just bored the fuck out of me, and I guess I fell asleep.
You and 50% of our listeners, I'm sure.
I guess I don't really have a point in staying here anymore.
Yeah, I mean...
Should I give your friend back to you?
Please get the fuck out of here. Like, not to be rude, but like,
Ooh.
go away.
Ooh. Hard to get, Burkett. I'd like that.
We'll meet again, I'm sure.
Maybe I'll see you this summer for Summer of Sean 2.
Oh, no. Oh, God. We can only hope.
Better start stretching out your little hole in preparation. All right, goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm going back to hell.
You scared the dog doing that. You back with us, David?
I think so.
Yeah. You've been gargling that hot black gum.
It's so hot. like biting into a pizza and burning the roof of your mouth.
That's hot. That's not nice.
What was your verdict for Jean de Florette?
It was an unfortunate no.
Okay, cool.
Because I think maybe our podcast has outgrown its premise.
Maybe. Anyways, thank you all for listening so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate your support. Spread the show on social media. Remember to like, review, comment, subscribe. And follow us at Instagram at TGMEM_podcast and send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com. I haven't checked the email in a while, but it's normally a lot of spam. But we have received some emails from listeners.
We occasionally get some nice stuff in there.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Justus.
Yes.
March Sadness is not over.
No, we are marching on, pun intended, next week with...
That was very good. I appreciate that.
Yes. With Ordinary People, directed by Robert Redford, a film neither of us have seen, but from what I understand, it is about a family dealing with the consequences of multiple generations of mental illness.
Fun.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, indeed.
Oh, boy. Don't you love when you pass your traumas and mental disorders on to your children and then have to see them manifest in their lives in dramatic and tragic ways.
And we get to talk about Robert Redford.
Yes, who's not in the movie but directed it.
Yeah.
We also get to talk about a hot little piece of ass named Donald Sutherland.
It's an interesting way to describe him.
What a gorgeous little man. Sorry, I feel that way because we watch Don't Look Now, and he is incredibly hot.
Disarmingly hot in that film.
Yes. And so now, always, when I think about Donald Sutherland, I think about his like tight little cheeks in Don't Look Now.
Just running through the streets of Venice. Yeah. Okay, so join us next week for Ordinary People and March Sadness. Thank you guys for listening. We love you so much. Take care of yourselves. And as always, later, dipshits.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Greatest Movie Ever Made. Please remember to leave us a rating and a review, and to subscribe to the show wherever you listen. We appreciate you supporting the show and spreading the word. Tell your friends to listen, tell your enemies to listen, tell your mom to listen. If your neighbor has an unsecured Bluetooth speaker, connect to it and play an episode. You can follow us on social media at TGMEM_podcast. And if you've got a movie that you want us to talk about, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.
Ah, the French.